Welcome viewers. Welcome to Tax Tips at ITV Gold. My name is Ajay Kumar. I'm an accountant, a CPA at Sai CPA Services. Today we'll talk about estimated tax payments, everything that you need to know about paying the estimated taxes. So Arwa, where do you want to start today?
Hi, my name is Arva. I'm a senior accountant at Sai CPA Services. Mr. Kumar, can you give us today an overview about the estimated tax payments?
Absolutely, my pleasure. That's a great start. So, estimated taxes, as the name says, are the taxes that you pay before the year end. If you take a step back, when you file the taxes, at that time you see if you owe taxes or if you are getting a refund. But estimated taxes are paid during the year before the year end. So if you expect to owe typically more than $1,000, at that time you are expected to pay certain taxes before the year end. So you don't have to pay the interest and penalties at the end of the year. Otherwise, IRS, the state, whichever state you live in, will try to charge you additional money in terms of interest and penalties if you have not paid enough taxes for the year.
When is an individual or a small business owner liable to pay estimated taxes?
That is a great question. So the question is when? How do I know if I'm supposed to pay it or not? So if you have additional income, mainly 1099 income or the consulting income or the income from a business, LLC, S Corp, in those cases, the taxes are not withheld from your payroll. When you have income only coming from a W-2, typically taxes are withheld from your income unless it's a statutory job, unless you're an insurance agent or a realtor. In those cases, sometimes the taxes are not withheld from your W-2. But in most cases, typically when you have a W-2, the taxes are being withheld from your W-2. But if you have income from the company, LLC, S Corp, you have large interest income, dividend income, 1099, consulting. In those cases, the taxes are not withheld at source before they make the payment to you. In those cases, the estimated taxes should be paid, Arwa.
As we are paying this income tax in advance, so what all items do we include in the annual income like to arrive at the estimated tax amount?
Yes, that could be a very confusing question. So the question is, how do I determine my income? What items do I need to include in my income? What is my taxable income? So the easy way is you go out, find your last year's tax return. It will help you find the income tax bracket you fall in, or call the accountant. They'll be happy to tell you what income tax bracket you fall in for the IRS and for the state. And then you see what income is coming. Take an example. Let's say if you have a 1099 income of $10,000. Not everything is income. You have the right to claim certain expenses against it. Similarly, the interest income or the dividend income, you cannot claim any expenses against the interest income. Only for active income, 1099 income, or anything that you are working for, subcontracting income, you have the right to claim certain expenses. But for the income that's coming from passive source, they say interest income or dividend income, you cannot claim any expenses. In that case, if you cannot claim any expenses, you need to take the total income, the gross income. But if you can claim the expenses, you need to take the net income. For example, you're collecting rent for $1,000 a month. For the year, you collected $12,000. But that's not your taxable income. You have the right to deduct the taxes, the mortgage interest, and few other things, the repair and maintenance. So for income like rental income or the 1099 income, you use the net income as taxable income. For interest and dividend type of sources, or for S Corp or partnership type of income, you use the gross income to compute your taxable income, to compute your estimated taxes based on your last year's tax bracket.
Now I want to ask, how can I pay my estimated tax?
Yes, I'm glad you asked. So once you are there, once you know that you are supposed to pay, once you know how much to pay, or you have some way of calculating this estimated taxes, the next question is, how do I pay the estimated taxes?
Correct.
So there are websites. IRS has their own website. You can go there on the IRS website. We will publish the link on the screen. The state has their own website. So each government authority, whoever is collecting these estimated taxes, they have put in their own link, web link, where you can go, put in your social security number, put your date of birth, put in some information in terms of AGI, adjusted gross income for the last year, and then it opens up a portal where you can make the payment. You choose how much payment you want to make, and you can decide the date. You give in your bank information, and the system, their software, will automatically take the money on that date, the amount you choose from your account.
So this estimated tax, like as we are paying in advance, so can we pay this any time of the year, or there's a particular day, or like when do we have to pay it?
I'm glad you asked. I almost missed it. So estimated taxes are supposed to be paid every quarter. So we have the estimated tax deadline as April 15th, June 15th, September 15th, and then January 15th. This year, under the COVID-19 situation, April 15th deadline was moved to May 17th because May 15th happened to be Saturday. So the first quarter payment was due by May 17th. The second quarterly payment is due by June 15th. The third quarter is due by September 15th, and the fourth quarter is due by January 15th. But if you have not made the payment for the Q1, you can still make the payment. So these are the suggested timelines that the IRS, the state, proposes, but you can make the payment at any time. Say, for example, if your income is not certain, you are not sure how much income you are going to get, when you are going to get, and suddenly you have income $30,000, make the payment at that time. If your income is too uncertain and not regular, you make the payment at the time you collect the money. But the IRS, the state, wants you to make certain payments, these type of estimated tax payments, every quarter, Arwa.
Now I want to ask, like some of us have to always pay penalty on the income tax, like for the year. So how can one avoid paying the penalty for the income tax?
Well, yes, some taxpayers pays penalties as well, especially the ones who are not paying the proper estimated taxes. So the easy way is you find out why the penalty is there. If the penalty is for not making enough taxes, then you try to make more tax payments upfront. If the penalty is for not making the tax payments in time, it means you are making the tax payments, but you are making it too late. So as we discussed, the tax payments are due quarterly, April 15th, June 15th, September 15th, and January 15th. But if you are making a lot of estimated tax payments in September, October, it means you're missing the first 2 quarters deadline. So sometimes they will charge you penalty for not making the tax payments on time, as opposed to not making enough estimated taxes. So you just have to understand where the penalty is coming from, and then you can correct it.
That's a worthy information. As you know, nobody likes paying the taxes. Even myself, I don't like, because it goes out of our pocket. Is there a way I can avoid paying taxes?
Well, yes and no. So I'll assume the question is, how do I not pay the estimated taxes? Well, if there was a way to not pay the taxes at all, I wouldn't be here. But nonetheless, the easy way to avoid not paying the estimated taxes is by having some income tax withheld at the source. Let's say if you are expecting some income from 1099 or consulting income, or you have a statutory job, or you are having large distribution from your IRA. A lot of times the company that's giving you the payment, they will give you the option if you want to withhold certain taxes. So depending on your income tax bracket, you can tell the company, please withhold 20% taxes or 30% taxes, whatever your income tax bracket happens to be. In those cases, when the income taxes are withheld at the source, you don't have to pay the estimated taxes, Arwa.
थैंक यू मिस्टर कुमार. आज आपने जो इन्फॉर्मेशन दी हमें बहुत यूज़फुल है हमारे व्यूअर्स के लिए. व्यूअर्स, अगर आपको कुछ भी इन्फॉर्मेशन चाहिए तो प्लीज़ कांटेक्ट कीजिए मिस्टर कुमार को एट साई CPA सर्विसेज. द नंबर है 908-888-8900. Mr. Kumar, what information you gave us, can you give us a brief description about what you told us?
I'll be happy to, Arwa. Thank you. So estimated taxes you need to pay when you are not paying the taxes at the source. अगर आपकी इनकम है 1099 के थ्रू, कंसल्टिंग इनकम है, पार्टनरशिप से आ रही है, एस कॉर्प से आ रही है, लार्ज इंटरेस्ट इनकम है, डिविडेंड है, तो इन दोज केसेस टैक्सेस आर नॉट पेड एट द सोर्स. तो अगर सोर्स पे टैक्स नहीं कट रहे हैं और जब आपकी इनकम इंक्रीज हो जाएगी, तो एट द एंड ऑफ द ईयर यू विल ओ टैक्सेस. इफ़ यू typically owe taxes at the end of the year, it means you are not paying enough estimated taxes. तो estimated tax pay करने की ज़रूरत है. 4 बार पे करते हैं every quarter typically, April 15th, June 15th, September 15th and January 15th. If you pay, hypothetically, if you pay more than what's necessary, you are not losing the money. You will get the money back at the time of filing the taxes, or you can have the additional refund applied to the next year's estimated taxes. So please consider making the estimated tax payment to avoid interest and penalties from the IRS and the state. If you have any question, please call us. Again, my name is Ajay Kumar. I'm an accountant, a CPA at Sai CPA Services.